Alright fellas, what's going on? We're back with some more high ladder content. You know we're churning this out because we are super high on the ladder right now. About numbers 8 in 2031. We decayed a little bit from 2036 from the previous video. But you know, we're on that grind, uploading daily. If you enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe. Really much appreciated. Today we're going to try this team that the professional ZavGB has made and brought it to S-Tour, and also his teammate used it here. So Batty, his teammate, brought it in World Cup, and Zav, aka Stress, also reused it for Smogon tournament semifinals versus Giannis. So that means he rates his team pretty highly. And our mission is to find out if the team is really all that. So basically it's built around Sandy Shocks and Sand. Sandy Shock seems like it gets a lot of good residual chip with Sand up. T-Tar is a good answer to things like Iron Moth, Raging Bolt, special spam type things. These EVs are not exact. I'll explain them in a little bit. Essentially, this goal is just meant to outspeed Max Speed King Gambit, you know, pretty typical stuff. This T-Tar is just a bunch of special defense with Knock, Ice Beam, Rocks, Roar. And then I just threw in some random EVs that probably mean nothing, but I genuinely have no idea what they could be. Sandy Shocks is max. Gotta max out that special attack and strength. We have Terra Blast Ice to lure the Gliscor and stuff. This thing is actually really annoying with boots, Terra Ice, Volt Switch, and spikes. Like, it really creates a big problem if they're reliant on Gliscor and Landorus. Tornadus is just meant to outspeed Wogerpon, max HP. Actually, this should probably be 248. And then the rest in special attack just to have a little power involved. Zamazenta is max speed with a little bit of attack for the heavy slam, Terra Steel. Aloe is some kind of wish, flip turn, protect nonsense. You know the usual vibes. This is how Aloe usually operates. I think you do need it on this team for something like Zamazenta. But you also have Goldango, so it's just so gold doesn't get overwhelmed. You have a makeshift Terra Ghost if absolutely needed. But yeah, looks pretty solid. It did lose in semifinals, but I think it looks pretty decent overall. So we're going to try it out and see how good it is at the very top of the ladder. I'll see you soon. Alright, so we have our first game, and it's actually a Sand Mirror matchup. I believe versus a UU team that was made in Sand. I have that team pulled up here because it is on the forums. It looks like Specs Keldeo, typical Tornadus. Yeah, I mean, this team does actually look like it would do very well on the ladder. It's kind of funny, but we're going to see how we match up into it. We have our own UU guys in Sandy Shocks, Torn, and T-Tar as well. Sandy Shocks looks pretty strong here. It's probably going to be our win condition. That Keldeo is super scary. I think we're probably just going to lead with Tornadus. Okay, so they do lead their Tyranitar, which is the best lead into Tornadus. Also, I'm going to be doing a video basically figuring out how to lead and teaching you guys how to lead. So definitely stay tuned for that. And Knockup does a gajillion amount of damage. And we're just going to flip turn out. They go to Hydrapple, which is Rocky Helmet, to deny some of our healing as well. Hydrapple is Terra Fairy, so it does wall our shocks, unfortunately. But here we're just going to Torn and Knock. Alright, we catch the Heatran. We do get burned, which is kind of annoying, but we're just going to U-turn into T-Tar here. Try to get our own rocks up. They go Keldeo, which makes a lot of sense. And I think something might drop to Specs Hydro Pump. Tornadus should be able to live it, but it's not like we have a switch in anyway. So we have to go Torn here. Alright. Surf comes out, and it's crazy. It's crazy strong. We're doing terribly. In fact, this looked like a loss already. But we're going to try our best. Kind of want to knock this in case they Terra Water here. We don't really have a great play. I think we probably just U-turn. Okay, cool. I think we just U-turn to Tar. Or Shocks. Shocks is not a bad recipient right now. Yeah, I don't think Shocks is actually bad here. And we could spike up. Or we could Torn, and Torn might make more progress with knockoff. Yeah, I don't hate Torn here. Or I mean Tar here. I've been saying Torn while Torn is already in. It's either Shocks and Spike or it's Tar and Knock. But let's see. You know what? Let's go Shocks. Let's try to pressure them with Hazards, because Hazards is definitely the best way for us to win this game. Alright, they U-turn as expected into Hydrapple. I kind of want to rip a Terra Ice and just knock this thing out. Okay, cool. We do expend our Terra, of course, which is a big deal, because now Keldeo can come in for pretty free. It's going to click Surf again. We could Aloe to scout once, but I think we just have to sack something. Or we could just go Tar and chip it down with Sand. Do we need Tar for anything? Not really. Yeah, I'm down to go Tar. And losing our Tar also denies them, like, the free Sand for their own self, so I'm okay with that. Alright. We lose that. Now we're gonna go Aloe. We're gonna Wish up. Okay, that is quite a bit, but we get a free Wish here. Aloe is gonna be our savior in this matchup, it looks like. Okay, Tornadus in. Oh. Whoa. I totally forgot about that. I totally forgot we take Sand before wishing up. That's a big mistake on my part. And I think they forgot too because they swapped out. Alright, alright. Let's go Shocks here. Maybe force a Terra out from Torn. Nah, if they Terra, then Za wins, so we can just Terra Blast here for free. They bring Keldeo in, which is a smart play. I think we're gonna sack Torn here. And now we're gonna bring Zamazenta in, which is a really big threat. And we're gonna Roar. Actually, no. Keldeo is 1 HP. We're just gonna press. Okay, they do make the smart play of going Torn there. I was hoping they wouldn't, honestly. But now we have to go Gold. Turn in a T-Wave. Right? I'm actually down to Za here on U-turn. It keeps the pressure up versus them. Yeah, forces in something like Heatran, which we can Roar now. Okay, they Terra Flying, expend their Terra. If we bring Keldeo here, it's looking pretty good. Nice. And I kind of want a Goldango to not take the chip, but we'll just press. Okay. Now I'm gonna Gold. We're gonna keep the Za. It's looking very tricky. I think we just lose when Sand goes up, but we can try. Okay, we'll recover here. That speed drop, it's a little unfortunate. Okay. I think we T-Wave Tar and go for the Za win, maybe. We can try to recover. Or we could just get the Make It Rain damage. I think we have to try to recover here. Go for a Para. I think we lose this game, but, you know, there's still odds with Paralysis. We can Iron Defense up and hope they Para. They don't. We have to hope for a Para again, I think. Okay, they make the smart play keeping the T-Tar. Then they sack it, and now we lose for sure. Damn, I totally forgot that Sand would kill me before. That's tough. Alright, but that's going to end game 1. It is unfortunately going to be a loss, and we're going to lose a lot of points for that. But that is what it is. And we'll move on to the next. Alright, we have game number 2 versus Ironclap. They are using what looks like a special spam offense with Raging Bull, Goldango. I mean, they also have D-Knight, Wilgerpon, so I guess they're just covering all offensive bases. This should be a matchup that is favored for us, so let's hopefully see how it turns out. Torn looks like a fantastic lead. It beats every single thing except Raging Bolt. So I think I'm definitely down to just lead Torn here. Shocks looks decent except for Wilgerpon, and it forced Terra from Lando, so probably not Shocks. We're going to keep Shocks to force the Terra out of Raging Bolt, is the plan. But we'll just lead Torn here. Torn seems good. Alright, opponent has picked their lead, and it is Landers. We're just gonna go for a Bleak Windstorm here. Get some really big chip on that. Oh, that's stone. Okay, well, we both missed, so I guess it balances it out pretty evenly. But we're just gonna Bleak Wind again, because we eat the Stone Edge with max HP anyways. And if they do decide to switch out, that would be great for us. So we don't mind just going for this Bleak Wind. Alright, so we eat the Stone Edge. And then we are the ones that miss again. Because that's life. I guess we'll just go Shocks here. Oh wait, my dimensions are off, I just realized. Apologies for that. I'm just gonna spike up here. I just want an up. They get the defense drop too, so it's really not an amazing start for us, but it is what it is. Here I'm actually gonna double Tornadus, expecting Wogapon to come in. They actually go for Iron Defense. Okay, I'm gonna go Aloe here. Interesting Iron Defense, but I think we're fine. I'm just gonna hard switch Goldango here. They do get our balloon here, which is unfortunate because they get a free crunch. But you can't really do much about that. We're just going to recover. Landers comes in, and it's a pretty free U-turn for them. I kind of want to actually just make it rain here. But I think that would be a little greedy. So I'll go Torn. Stone Edge would be a pretty insane play from them. So I'm really not expecting it. But if they do, they've got it. Yep. The reason we go Torn here is because if we go Aloe, which is super free into Scarflanders, then it invites Ogerpon in for free, and Ogerpon gets a free hit off into us, which is not ideal. And Stone Edge would be a pretty insane click from them, so it was kind of a read that ends up in our favor. Alright, gold is out now. Wonder what it's gonna click. I'm just gonna Aloe, I think. I would assume this is Scarf and it's just gonna make it rain. Yep. I did 28%. I'm gonna calc that. Okay, yeah, that is consistent with Scarf. Now we can just go back to 20s for free. Here I'm actually gonna make the choice to go Shocks. Expecting Stone Edge here. Okay, they make a really nice U-turn there, which allows them to bring Wogapon in. Or Dragonite. Dragonite's fair as well. We're just gonna hard T-Tower. We're gonna break this multi-scale and throw in some Rocks/Ice move coming out. They go Landorus. I mean, I'm probably fine with taking a trade here, but nah, we'll go Aloe. We'll play it safe. Alright, they click U-turn again. U-turn versus T-Tar is Giga free, so it's understandable. We're gonna Tornadus here. We have a one-time switch in to Ivy Cudgel. Yep, which is crazy it does that much to max HP Torn, but it is what it is. We're just gonna U-turn out here. We either force the Terra or they make an aggressive stay in here, which would be pretty crazy. Okay, yep, they go gold. Alright, here I kind of want a T-Tar, but I think that's kind of ambitious. I kind of want to get Rocks up, because Rocks are really going to affect this guy long term. But we have to keep in mind the Raging Bolt on the enemy team, so we can't really do that for free. Okay, I think the play is I'm going to Aloe, and then I'm going to hard switch Torn. If it clicks Shadow Ball, we should live that. But if it doesn't, then we're fine. Okay, they go for Trick. Trick is fine for us. We get a free U-turn here. And now we can go ahead and click Wish. And now we can bring T-Tar in on the Wish. Because Make It Rain is a pretty free click for them right now. But if we go T-Tar, they lose their special attack and we also can get Rocks up. Yep. We take 59% from that. That's quite a bit still, given the sand boost and our investment. But we can just go for rocks here, which is great. Nice, we're applying a lot of pressure to them right now. I'm gonna go Aloe here to regenerate up a little bit. They go to Goldango, cool. Here Shadow Ball is pretty free for them. I want to keep this T-Tar HP, so I'm thinking of just flip turning and sacking this. How much does Shadow Ball do? I'm gonna flip turn here. Aloe is very low, but it's serving a lot of its purpose right now. And now I kind of want to just shocks. Just get another spike up. We're applying a lot of pressure with these hazards. Yeah, because it forces in Lando every time. And now we can go Aloe, because we should eat an Earthquake or Stone Edge, whatever it does. Yep. And now it's a very free swap into our Torn. They're going to have to go Bolt or something to catch it. Okay, they go Goldango. And they might not know that we have Heat Wave, so we can actually just snipe this right now. Yep, that's really big. Yeah, offense matchup looks pretty good for this team. Alright, I'm okay with just Heat Waving again. I don't think we need Torn necessarily. Okay, well, we miss. Miss is what it is. I guess we have to Heat Wave again to deny this from clicking something like that. Yep. Are they gonna Terra and Synthesis though? This might be a roll for Heat Wave, so that's a pretty ambitious Terra. Oh no, I forgot it's resisted. Okay. Now we are unfortunately forced to go Za and body press it to knock it out. Thankfully, we don't get crit. Za should always live that, but with the crit, you know, game is over basically. Now I'm thinking we just sack Za. This looks really bad for us actually. Because of that. Because of that Heat Wave miss, we're looking in a really bad spot. But we'll see if we can pull it out. I'm gonna Aloe here just to flip turn and get some chip. Goldango is gonna have to take a whole ass Earthquake, so I think we lose because of that. No, we can go Tar. We can go Tar. Tar has to eat this Earthquake. Which is really, really unfortunate. But I think we still have a chance with max HP gold. So let's see what happens. Alright. Dragonite is in now. I'm okay sacking Aloe, I think. Or just clicking Roar in case they go for some crazy play. Alright, now we have to Thunder Wave. Our Terra Gold is really going to have to carry this endgame. But they do have a Rigid Bolt still, which is pretty scary. Alright, luckily we connect. Now we can recover up. Fish for a Para. Okay. Like, come on now. Alright, well now we're going to have to hope they don't E-Speed here. Okay. Perfect, perfect. Now we Hex on the Dragon Dance. Nice. Now we recover on the E-Speed. I almost want to, like, try to heal Aloe enough to flip turn. Okay. So we're getting some luck back in our favor. Ridging Bolt is in, and this is the issue, is it can Calm Mind on us. Okay, that's really big chip. I'm gonna sack Aloe here. This is a really close endgame, because if they Calm Mind again, we might lose, but if they... Let me calc. This might honestly be a 50-50. If they just attack us, we can't beat Za, but if they just Calm Mind again, then they're out of Shock's range. But I think we sack Aloe, because I don't know if we can risk it. Let me think. I think we're cooked. I think we have to sack Aloe, hope they T-bolt us. Okay, they do. Now we need a Sandy Shock's Earth Power roll versus Raging Bolt. Please, please, please. This game has been so unfortunate. Please. Yes! Okay, we got it. That should be a win. We just Volt out here. And then we Thunder Wave. Come on. Connect. Nice. We knew they were Chesto. Hex should do a lot. Hex again. Body press doesn't do enough. Perfect. Okay, we pulled out on top in a really unfortunate game that got really, really close. But that's a nice win to get. And we'll move on to the next game. Back at 2022. All right, we are back with our third game. And this time we are facing an interesting looking webs. But they do have a Araquanid, which means that we're probably cooked. Because that is the biggest threat to us after all. And we actually don't really have a good lead into Araquanid. And I meant Ogerpon, by the way. But actually we have a terrible lead into that. We also have leftover Za, which is pretty useless in this matchup. And they have Raging Bolt. So this is going to be scary. But we're going to try to figure it out. I'm going to try to be great. I actually don't even know what my lead is. Like, is it Tornadus? Bleakwind twice? It might be. And if this guy clicks Miracle on us, we're just kind of cooked. And we have to hit Bleakwind in the first place, which is a terrible move, and obviously we don't connect. And if they're Miracle, we're going to really hate our lives. Like, I'm tired of this game. I'm tired of Tornadus. Tornadus is the worst Pokemon ever. Like, holy... Oh my god. Tornadus is... I've hit like 0 Bleakwinds. 0 out of 6. Like, why is it so bad? Oh my god. Well, we lose to Ogerpon now. Because... Guys, I'm crashing out. I don't like this team at all. I think this team is terrible. And I just don't even know, bro. Like, what do we do? He's gonna click Swords Dance, then what? He doesn't even need to. Now he can Swords Dance. Okay, we have a glimmer of hope because they're just refusing to Swords Dance for some reason. And then we can take this out with gold. For a Thunder Wave, I guess. Dude, Bleakwind is the worst move ever. How can people ever use this Pokemon? Like, truly, it shocks me. Alright, Aloe has to eat this somehow. Yikes. Okay. Oh, we're gonna have to hope we eat It's a Roll or something. No, it's not. You can hear the misery in my voice. Okay. I don't know. There's no way to win this. 80% move. Bleakwind is trash. Tornadus is trash because of Bleakwind. Like I regret deciding to use this team. It looked really interesting and it looked like it had potential. But at the end of the day, it's just bad. Like, there's nothing I could do in this matchup. Hit an 80% move. Maybe we can outplay the King Gambit suckers somehow. I don't know. The thing is, we still need T-Tar for Raging Bolt. We have to switch this in on Make It Rain. And then... I don't know. Just sack it to that. Go for Earth Power. Nah, there's no way. There's no good player can lose this matchup from this point on. Greedy Webs player just gets them up without a care in the world. Alright, maybe we can do some super insane moves, but it's looking really unlikely. Yeah, like whatever. We'll move on to our final game. Alright, we have our final game of the day. And hopefully we end on a victory. We'll see. Luckily, they are using Samu Patch spikes. And we don't really care about spikes besides Za. So at least we have that going for us. That crown is pretty scary. Is worth noting. If it's specs, Terra Steel. Kind of runs through everything. Lead here is probably Shocks. And if they lead Landers, I'm honestly just gonna rip this Terra Ice and just deny these completely. This is a terrible play, and I don't recommend it. It could even be Scarf Landers, and we could just be making genuinely the worst play ever. But I think it's fine. Because denying this Landers opens up our team a lot. Alright, we just knock out Landers turn 1. And now we have to ask the question, was exhausting worth it? We're about to find out, fellas. Okay, that looks like specs. So it's gonna click Volt Switch for free. But we did just use our our electric immune, so we'll have to deal with that. We're just gonna go Aloe to eat like 60% from this. Oh, okay. They go for Tachyon, which works out for us. We get a free flip. I'm actually considering just getting a spike up. This Rotom is super annoying low-key. Wait, we might actually lose to... We might be 6-0 by Rotom. Which this team does not surprise me with. Given how it is. But we'll try. We got a spike up here. They actually Scarf Rotom. That's fantastic for us, actually. I'll take that. It's a super free flip for us. It's a super free U-turn for us. Okay, this being Scarf is a way off my shoulders because leftovers Pain Split Rotom or even Helm Rotom would have destroyed us. Alright, they're Helm. I'm gonna go Shocks here and I'm gonna click Volt Switch, expecting Rotom to come in. Even if they stay in here, we're gonna do a lot of damage chip to it. Alright, Great Tusk comes in now. Interesting. Took spikes, doesn't have leftovers, so it could be Scarf. I'll just Goldengo here because I expect either Headlong or Rapid Spin to come out. Goldengo actually looks fantastic here, by the way. Just gotta paralyze that Samurott. Alright, at least this final game is looking pretty decent for us. We just gotta wrap it up nicely. Alright, Rotom is actually the double of choice here. Very interesting. It did switch out first, so that is... No, we switch out first. Okay. How you can tell if something is faster than you, like has a secret scarf, is if they switch out first, which this did not. So I will just Torn here. Volt is gonna do a lot, but I mean... So what? It basically does a net 27% regenerator. Alright, now it's Samurott. And I guess we just U-turn into Aloe. They get their spikes up. We're just gonna Wish. They go for Knock. Now we're gonna Flip turn. We don't really care about this Aloe taking damage. Because it does let us just bring in Shocks for free. Get all of that health back. And now we can go for a Volt Switch. Okay, Rotom is in. That does... Oh, Jesus, that did a lot. Alright, well now I'm comfortable just getting Rocks up to apply some more pressure to his team. Pressure is short for pressure, by the way. My boy 3D invented that. Alright, here I'm just gonna Ice Beam. Because I don't expect Spin to come out. I expect Knock or Ice Spinner. Because we revealed Air Balloon Gold. That's fine as well. That Ice Beam puts it in range of basically Spikes plus Rocks knocking it out. So now I'm gonna go Gold. They go for Headlong, so we're gonna finish it off with a Hex. It probably swaps out here though, I guess, so we can make it rain. Make it rain catching the Samurai is not bad for us. But yeah, this looks very good for a Sandy Shock's endgame. Alright. Samurott is in. I'm fine with just going Za here. And then just spamming Roar. Or I guess they're just gonna sack Samurott because they have the hazards are up, it's gonna knock it out anyways. Okay, that's fine too. We'll Roar here. We're just gonna force hopefully Iron Crown to take a bunch of hazards, but it turns out to be Samurott instead, which is fine. It is worth noting their Terra isn't expended, but at the same time, they don't really have like a setup mon. Like, it's weird to run a Spikes Petra on offense without a setup mon. That's what I mean. Just gonna Roar again. Even if we get poisoned and self-hit, it's not the end of the world. Iron Crown is in. We'll just click Body Press. And that should knock it out. Yeah, I mean, unless this Petron is Nasty Plot, which I still don't think even wins. I think we're fine. Alright, I'm gonna sack Aloe here. Or if they trick, then they have to Volt Switch to knock me out. Yep. And then we'll just flip turn. And then having Shocks in versus the Petron should be a guaranteed win, even if there's some Nasty Plot set, which is unlikely. Yep. Alright, we go Shocks. We click Earth Power. Okay, they're Terra Dark. We can just Volt Switch into gold, honestly. Because Terra Dark implies that they're foul play, which means they're walled by gold. Let's recover. Yeah, that is nothing. If we miss Thunderwave and they crit us twice in a row, that could have been a little ugly, but that's why you click recover. Yeah, honestly, there was a world we actually lose if they crit and we miss Thunderwave. But luckily, it doesn't happen. And now Hex is going to do like 35 or something. Oh, they did way less than I thought. But we'll just spam Hex anyways. Doesn't really matter. At this point, game is completely over. And there's zero chance for them to win. I'll make it rain to finish it off because we got the para. Alright, and that's GG. We did somehow stay in the 2000s, but those losses, I got really tilted. I'm sorry, guys. Unless you enjoy seeing that, which is fine too. But yeah, would I recommend this team? Hell no. I think it's actually pretty bad. I'm sorry, Zav. This was not a cook of yours. Usually you do cook pretty well, but overall, I don't like this team. I'm really not a fan. I think it's just so weird having like no hazard control, but then you have guys that could get knocked off like Torn Aloe and a Balloon Gold. So it's really weak to spikes and hazards, which we faced a lot today. Weak to webs a lot as well. But luckily we do pull out a really good matchup in this end game. They couldn't do anything about Shocks leading and tearing and exhausting very early because nothing on their team was fast besides Scarf Rotom. They don't have any setup. Like if it was set up Iron Crown, for example, maybe it's a threat. With our Terragon, like they could have calm-minded, Terra grounded on T-Wave from gold. Tried to win like that, but luckily the Never Exhaust doesn't apply here. And we were able to scratch out a win. The other games, while they were a little unfortunate, it's also like the team doesn't really give you much to outplay once you do get unlucky. And I feel like that doesn't represent a good hallmark of a team. Shoutouts to all my YouTube members, and thank you to all of you guys for watching to the very end, and make sure to take care, and I'll see you for the next video. Peace.